Welcome to Fueling Your Legacy, hosted by Samuel Knickerbocker. Each week, we expose the faulty foundational mindsets of the past and rebuild a new, stronger foundation essential in creating your legacy. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Today, we are going to be talking about something that's been kind of a guiding light to me throughout my entire life, and that is integrity and honesty. As it relates to a legacy, why is integrity and honesty so important, and why is it essential in creating your legacy and what you really represent? And I think for me, if we go back to a very, very young childhood, I've had a few experiences of where I was either honest or dishonest and out of integrity or in integrity. I'm going to share a silly one first. And this one, maybe many people could relate to. My brother and I, Gabriel, we were wanting to go to our friend's house. Now, on the way to our friend's house, actually right next door to our friend's house, was what we called the penny candy store, right? You could go into this store and get goldfish, suckers, things like that for pennies. And I know that sounds like unfathomable for most of the younger generation today, but yeah, we really could buy bags of candy for pennies. And my mom knew this, and so when we were asking to go to our friend's house to see if he was home, she said, no, you can't, no, you can't. And we kept asking, right? We were persistent, and then finally she said, okay, you can go, but you cannot go to the candy store. And we're like, okay, fine. In our minds, right? That's the whole purpose we're walking down there, so we can make a pit stop down by the candy store. Well, we go knock on our friend's door. He's not there. We did stop at the candy store. Well, we get home, and my mom asks, did you guys go to the candy store? He's like, no, we didn't, right? This is probably 5 or 6 years old. She asks us again, I'm going to ask you again, did you go to the candy store? No, we didn't. Then she says, okay, go look in the mirror. So we're like, okay, seems strange. Go look in the mirror, and our faces are just covered in blue candy, right? There's no way that we could have gotten out of this lie that we had lied about. And so our punishment was we had to sit on 2 stools in the center of the living room, just far enough apart that we couldn't touch each other or play or anything. I don't even know how long we sat there. It felt like forever. It probably wasn't actually forever, but it felt like a really long time that we were sitting there. And that was a really great example of teaching a lesson of honesty and integrity, right? Both. So what's the difference between honesty and integrity? Honesty means we could be honest and say, yes, this is what I did. This is what I'm going to do. And kind of own up to our mistakes. You can still be regularly making mistakes and be honest about it. You could be saying, yes, I'm going to screw you in this business deal. Yes, I'm going to do something that's wrong. Yes, I'm going to just continue to lie to you. I lie to you all the time, right? I guess it wouldn't really be honest all the time if you were saying you were lying all the time. But you can be honest about things without having integrity. And so we need to separate the two, but in a bigger case, both are necessary for you to create a legacy. Another good example from what I learned from my dad, I had this posted on my wall and my door as a teenager. And I guess I learned it from my brother, Joseph, and Joseph told me that my dad told him it. So I assume it's from my dad. But that is that it's better to be trusted than to be loved. And I've had a lot of people, I've told this to quite a few people over my lifetime, they're like, I don't know if I agree with that completely. It doesn't sound accurate, blah, blah, blah. Well, for me, I think it's absolutely essential, right? The importance of being trusted, knowing that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, is so vital, especially in business, especially if you're trying to build a long-term legacy, something that somebody's going to remember that wasn't jaded with a bunch of dishonest dealings or out of integrity, out of ethics circumstances. You actually did the best thing for whoever you're trying to help, and you did it every time you said you were going to do it. You were true at all times with what you said you were going to do. And so that's crucial in my mind as to making sure that you are trusted. And then if you're trusted, you'll be loved. I had an experience with one of my other brothers, and it's a lot of family experiences, but he had just started or we had started talking about some of the sales books that he was reading. And he's like, man, this guy, like, I see what he's saying, but he's kind of rude. He's kind of a jerk. He's really abrasive, but he still is accomplishing and making sales. He's still getting things done. And I think it comes down to, we really like to feel like somebody's being real with us. We don't want a facade around us. We can accept somebody as a really bad person. Somebody's done some pretty atrocious things. We can accept that as long as we feel like we were told the truth, that it happened. Where that's where that trusted, okay, we can trust what he's saying, even though we don't like what he's saying, we don't like anything about it. This happens in politics all the time. Well, at least specifically with our president today. A lot of people don't like the things that he's done. They don't even like who he is. And yet they feel, and this may or may not be true, none of us really know, that he's been fairly forthcoming with all of his crap. We kind of know who he is, and then we just accept that because we hope that what he's going to be able to accomplish is a positive thing. And sometimes if you are really brutally honest in a lot of things, and maybe not so tactful, but at least they know, the person you're dealing with knows that what you say is true and that it's going to happen that way, there's value in there. So the ability to be trusted over being loved, right? That's super important. If somebody, now let's take it to a marriage relationship. What if you just loved this person and you thought, oh, I'm so in love, but then that person was not honest with you and they don't actually trust you? They can love you, but still never trust you to be with, want to have kids with you. They can love you, but never want you around them. And there's a lot of ways we can love somebody, but not trust them. And so trust is so important in all areas of our lives and in all relationships. And when you're building a legacy, it's important to have that understanding that, okay, I need to build not just my trust, but then the kind of coupler to trust is the honesty, but the integrity aspect, that's where you can get both. You can get trusted and loved. You don't have to say, well, you're either going to be trusted or you're going to be loved. I think that if you are actually full of integrity, then you can actually accomplish both. You can be trusted and be loved because people know that you are true at all times. They know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and that you're always going to be giving back in an ethical manner. You're not going to be breaking rules. So could I be honest that I speed? Sure can. I got pulled over. This is actually a really funny example. Just on Saturday, we were in a construction zone and it splits into 2 lanes, and the police went on this side and I went on this side, and I sped up because I was like, you know what? He can't pull me over right now. So I sped up. I was going about 10 to 12 over the speed limit. Well, when those lanes come back together, I slowed back down so that I didn't get pulled over. Well, sure enough, I still got pulled over, and he walked up to my door and he said, you sped up after we split. And I said, yes, I sure did. He said, that's not allowed. And I said, I know. He said, okay. And he gave me a ticket, right? Which he totally should have done. And I accepted. That's fine. That was a time where I was honest, but not necessarily integrity, right? The integrity part of that was I should have obeyed the rules the way the rules were set out. And I didn't obey the rules. And thus I got my natural result, natural consequence of not being in integrity. I was still honest, but I wasn't in integrity. And so maintaining both are so important. And when you do both, then you can be both trusted and loved. And when you're building your legacy, I think that is the ultimate objective, is to have a legacy, have a history, have people remember you for being not only trusted, that you knew you were going to get stuff done and you could always be honest, but also that you were ethical and that you treated people fairly and that you were whole as an individual. You were true at all times. You were the same person in all circumstances of your life. It wasn't that you were one person for business, one person for your family, one person in your religious devotions, one person in your fitness. You were the same person. You applied the same principles across your whole entire life. And so I just want to leave that with you. Maybe ponder over that. We're going to be talking about it this week. Have a guest on Friday to talk about that a little bit more. And then also on Wednesday, we're going to do a book review, and we're going to be talking about a book that's helped me gain greater understanding and confidence in the necessary belief of, okay, what's the difference between honesty and integrity? How can we bring these together and live a more fulfilled life and accomplish those things? So have a wonderful day. Please remember to like, comment, and review this podcast, also this Facebook Live video. Please share it. If you do take a screenshot and post it on social media somewhere, tag me in it, and then I will give you a shout out both on my Instagram Live as well as in my next podcast. So hopefully you're able to do that. Just takes a few seconds to kind of hit that like button, but hopefully you have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for joining us today. If what you heard resonated with you, please like, comment, and share on social media. Tag me so I can give you a shout out on the next episode. And thanks to all those who have left a review. It helps spread the message of what it really takes to build a legacy that lasts. Catch you next time on Fueling Your Legacy.